Hey YouTube, hope everybody's doing well. I want to do a quick video on what we're planting in our greenhouse in the next couple weeks and just trying to get a little bit of a head start. I know we live in Alabama, so we probably could at this point direct sow if we wanted to, but there's a couple reasons why I don't want to do that. Our frost date isn't actually until April 21st. It's happened before. In fact, it's supposed to get down below freezing at least one night, probably 2 nights this week, just because of the cold front just come in. And that's why the video is inside today, because not because it's super cold, but it's just been raining pretty much all day. So I'm gonna show you the seeds that I've got purchased to start in the greenhouse. Pretty much all the seeds that I bought, I'm going to start in the greenhouse. Now that I've kind of got it to a point where I feel like I can maintain the temperature a little bit better. And really just to get these seeds started, because it is about time. End of February, you can start a few things, but really indoors, starting the seeds inside, you want to do that all the way up until April, and then you can start planting outside in April. Again, I'm going to wait till after. Is it going to make a huge difference if I waited those couple weeks? Not really, but I just want to use the greenhouse for what it's used for. So I'm going to show you the seeds. I'm going to talk about what we got. All the seeds that I got, I purchased from True Leaf Market. I had a special someone had in YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I want to do this year. But I didn't want to go and just buy the random stuff from like Lowe's or something like that. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just something I didn't want to do. Growing up, my parents, we never did that. You know, they always bought their seeds from what we call the Agway, because I grew up in New York. We had an Agway, which doesn't exist anymore. And they basically were like a co-op, which is kind of where a lot of this would have come from if I hadn't been able to find it online. But enough babbling about that. So like I was saying, we got these from True Leaf Market. And they shipped them really quick. I've had these, I think I ordered these end of February, and they came in the next week or two. It all came in one package, just a brown package. I'll check like everything else. And then all these seeds came in. I know you can't see them right now because of the angle of the camera, but so let's just start with probably what I'm most excited about, because I'm a huge fan, and that is sweet corn. I got two bags of sweet corn. Remember, this is just for us to have here, so I'm not trying to make a ton of money off it. So that's why the numbers will seem a little small, but it's still probably more than we need, because who knows what's going to happen. But this is the Serendipity hybrid. I'll show it to you. I'm not sure if the camera picked it up, but I got two of those. They are bicolor triple sweet, and they produce between 8-inch ears up to 8-inch ears. 16 to 18 rows of enhanced kernels, or sugar enhanced, excuse me. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think they're going to be pretty good. It is a hybrid, so if that bothers you, they True Leaf Market sells, you can get purely organic. I got kind of a mixture. These are hybrid. I don't really have a problem with it. I know some people really do, but at this point right now, starting out, I'm not being super picky about it. Not to mention, I don't know if you've tried to buy seeds lately, and this was like a month and a half ago when I purchased these. They're really hard to find, you know, if you're being specific about it. So yeah, one type of sweet corn. I'm probably going to end up getting more of that from the local area. The other thing that I'm pretty much excited about all of this, but the next thing that I'm really excited about is we got some pea seeds. We got just your normal sweet peas, and then I got some sugar snap peas. I'm not a huge fan, but I think these will be good on like salads and stuff, but I'll let you see what those are. If you wanted to pause the video, you could read that, because I'm not going to read all this to you. I am a little concerned about the peas, because I don't know how they're going to handle the heat here in Alabama. Hopefully I'll get them in early enough that it won't be, they won't get torched in the 90 to 100 degree weather that we have every summer. But we'll see how that goes. It might just be a gamble that doesn't pay out, and we'll just go from there. I might have to get a better greenhouse temperature control thermostat to kind of handle that if I end up really being serious about growing peas. But let's see, what do I want to talk about next? For my wife, I don't even know if she knows I got these, but I got some okra, because she's a big fan of okra. We don't have it enough here because I do a lot of the cooking. At least lately I've been doing a lot of cooking, and I'm not an okra fan, so I don't cook it very much. If I do, it's mainly for my wife, or if her family's over, we'll do okra that way. Usually we buy the frozen stuff, unless we can get it fresh. But so this is the Clemson Spineless. So we'll see and less prickly spines. We'll see. I don't know a whole lot about it. I do know that they like hot weather, so it'll be good for Alabama. So there's some okra. This is all these seed packages. I got them from True Leaf, but almost all of them came in the Mountain Valley Seed Company packages. Let's see. Another couple things that I've never grown before. I mean, I've known people to grow it, but and that is lettuce. We got some iceberg crisp head lettuce. It had really good reviews on the website, and I'm going to try it. We eat salad, not a ton. I need to eat way more of it because then I'd be a little bit healthier. And then I also got a gourmet mix of lettuce, which is just a bunch of gourmet greens is what it was called. And I'm just going to try it. Really, if we end up doing the microgreen thing where we're cutting them early, that might work out well. But just having that and having the ability, I don't know if you've had your own garden and eating your own stuff, it tastes different. It really does. It's not been mass produced and washed and all that for you to buy from Walmart, and they call it fresh. Even if it's from local area, it's usually mass production. And this, the market garden stuff is kind of the direction I would like to head into if this pans out and is something that I can manage to do while I'm also working a real job. Let me rephrase that. Working a full-time job. I don't know why I said real, because I know my family before I graduated high school was all farmers, so I didn't mean to offend anybody if I did. We're also going to try some carrots. I got some tender sweet carrots. These go back. These are, I don't know if they're considered heirloom, but they're from like 1930s, what this says here. So they're pretty old. Should get between 6 and 10 inches. So we'll see. Again, another thing I'm not sure that is going to be great. The only thing I know about these carrots is that I'm not going to be starting them indoors. I'm going to just plant these straight outside. And I think, and I'm going to mark on all these, I can start these, I'll probably put these in a week or so, as soon as I can work up the garden. And these might actually end up going in the old garden next to the greenhouse, so that because I can work that up a little bit easier than cutting the new garden in, because I haven't been able to do that yet. Still waiting on a few things to be able to do that. Another thing that I haven't started from seed before that I'm pretty excited about is onions. I've got some Utah Yellow Sweet Spanish, which makes me pretty happy. I like onions, especially on other things. Like my grandfather would just pick up an onion and bite into it. And he could, if he was just feeling a little peckish, I guess, he'd do that with a lot of stuff. He was an old farmer, and that's, check the stuff was ready, he would just go out, pick it, and eat it. He'd do that with corn, even if it wasn't sweet corn, or do it with field corn. Well, we're not going to get this yet, or this is overdue. We need to do this field right now. I'm going to go back and get the tractors, get stuff moving. The other onion brand, I got 2 brands, is the Walla Walla. This one is organic. I just know the Walla Walla's been really popular. People say it's probably the best tasting. We can actually plant these at the end of the season. So I'm going to plant some at the beginning, but I'm actually going to, I guess we're considered a mild area, and probably in the greenhouse, if I can manage to figure this out, I'm going to put some at the end of August, because they'll start growing, and then I'll actually have onions that will come up at the very beginning of the next summer after they wake up again. And there's actually a few volunteer onions out there in the garden, I think. I know we got leeks and stuff popping up, but another plant that I'm excited about, I keep saying that, I've got some Market More 76 cucumbers. These are also organic. I've on again, off again cucumber fan, and I think it was one of those things where if I'm growing it, I'm going to want to eat it. So these, I'm going to try and trellis these a little bit and see if there's something that I can do that. I'm going to start these, and you got to thin them and all that, and we'll go through that in another video. The other things that I've got ready to go along the lines of a cucumber are actually zucchini. I got a couple packages of the Cash Flow hybrid zucchini. It's a summer squash. It likes to be harvested a lot. My wife's a big zucchini fan, especially when you're putting it in other dishes. Excuse me. It is, I'm gonna sow directly, okay, but I'm probably, one of these I'm gonna sow directly. I think there's like 10 seeds in each of these packages. So one of these packages I'm gonna end up holding in direct seeding just to see how that goes, kind of a mini experiment. And then the other one I'm going to start early in transplants, since I know there's 10 seeds and they're fairly large. I won't have to stress about it too much. And the thing about the zucchini is if this blows up in my face and they don't work out, I can always buy transplants at our local farm store, which I'm also happy to do because it supports them. Something out of the normal from what I grew growing up with my parents is some cantaloupe. This is Hell's Best Jumbo. It's organic. It's a melon, but it's cantaloupe. I'm excited about this. They get between 6 and 8 inches, so 6 and 8 inches round. Okay, look at that package if you needed to. You could pause that and look at it. And then the directions are on here. That's why I like these seed packets. They give you a bit more of the directions. I don't have to memorize everything or have it written down, which I'll probably end up doing anyway to plant the garden. But these come out about, what do they say, 3 to 4 pounds, which is exciting. My wife loves melon. My little son loves melon. So, and then on to the stuff that I'm really excited about because they did really well last year in the little small impromptu garden that I threw together, and that is tomatoes and peppers. I'm going to start some tomatoes and peppers from seed here, and then others I will just do transplants. I will buy those from the nurseries. But we've got the celebrity hybrid. I got two packages of that. There's about 20 seeds in here. Again, I don't really need 20 successful tomato plants, but you always plan to not have those. These are kind of more of a Midwest arid plant. So we're going to see how these go. Again, this year is just kind of an experimentation. I'm going to start these inside. They say to wait until you know that you're going to have between 60 and 70 degree weather, which we've had for about a month now. The problem is the temperatures at night get pretty chilly. So we're probably going to unplant these and transplant them, or sow them and then transplant them. And then got some Cal Wonderful sweet peppers. We're going to try these, and again, I'm going to supplement our peppers with transplants. Because I've never started them for seeds. My parents never started them for seeds. Not saying that they're like the holy grail, but I just don't have experience with it. So all these seeds that I am going to be starting in the greenhouse, kind of an experiment. We're going to try. I'm doing a lot of research on it. But if I had to tell anybody to do anything with starting from seed, if you're worried about it and you're going to be relying on your garden for food, buy transplants, because that's probably the scariest part. And a lot of those are pretty hardy, especially if you get them from a more popular store. They're pretty hardy. They'll be weaned off, or you can take the extra steps that go with that. All in all, these seeds, they ran between $5 and $2 a pack, which isn't bad. Some of them are a little bit more, some of them are a little bit less. But when you get a bunch of the smaller seeds, like for lettuce and stuff, it's done by weight, which is fine. So hopefully that will go well. A website that I spent a little time on digging around in because they had some specific stuff for our area was the Urban Farmer. I know we're not urban farmers here. If you've seen any of the videos that are outside, we're not in an urban location. But talk a little bit about how Alabama's weird. And by weird, I mean I'm just not used to it. My parents, growing up, we would plant starting in in New York. We'd start planting in May, the end of May, depending on the weather. Because I remember my birthday's in May, and I remember it snowing on my birthday once. So you never know. It's a little bit more risky. But also the stuff that you can grow there is different than what you could grow down here. You really couldn't get away with cantaloupe without having some sort of nursery to go with it. So sowing, my parents always planted everything outside. I don't think we've ever started anything in a greenhouse, at least when I was there. But some things about Alabama in July: tomatoes can be planted in the northern regions, which is kind of where we are. We're in the North Alabama area. And field peas, spinach, and rutabagas can be planted again in July. August, fall crops. So Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and celery. None of those really appeal to me, but we might try them. Beans, turnips, and rutabagas can be planted in the southern parts of the state, not us. So I can't really get away with that. And then in September, some of those plantings in August, they can stretch a little farther. And yes, I'm kind of reading off of this because I'm excited. This is brand new to us, brand new to me, putting all this effort into something I want to enjoy it. I know as much information as possible. And then some of the soil differences, I'm not getting my soil tested or anything like that. I'm going to amend it a little bit for the transplant stuff, and then I'll probably also amend it again once I get the new garden area worked up. Most of that's just going to be black cow, putting in that fertilizer and manure and things like that. We'll see. I know some people swear by Miracle Grow to get things started. I've got a couple bags of that. We here in Alabama last year we got a good fair normal amount of rain. Year before that, not much. The year before that, big old drought. Like our pond is down. It was down to like 2 feet, which is a lot. I could mow almost all the way down to the middle of it, just to keep things from going. The thing about harvesting, and I know I'll talk about this in our video, harvesting in Alabama, you got to do it in the morning when it's not hot, so you can keep the vegetables cool and you want to get them inside and get them out of the heat. Sun is an issue that I'm a little worried about, but I figure I can get a cover. I can get grow covers for that if I need to, if I find some burns happening, which didn't really happen last year, and it was up against a building, so we'll see. But I also have this seed start chart, and it's just kind of a general guideline. Obviously, I'm going to be doing more research and reading up the seed packages and writing things down and getting things organized. So I'm going to write right on the packages, and I may show that to you. But like when I want to plant them and then how I'm going to plant them, just abbreviate it so that I can put this on I probably end up being on a spreadsheet once I know the exact dimensions of my garden. Which right now we're looking at 60 by 90, or yeah, 30 by 90. Excuse me, 30 wide, 90 deep, and that's feet. And I want to run the short side, so it'll be 30. Each row would be about 30 feet long. A little less than that probably, and then I gotta put a fence around it just to keep everything random out of there. If the cows break out or something, I don't want them trampling through my garden. Or the dogs when they're chasing something, and some of the larger rodents. But right here, starting in March, so I'm not really late technically. I know some people have started way earlier, and they just get a head start because they have the garden, the greenhouse set up for that. And usually it's the high tunnel folks that are able to do that in a traditional greenhouse. Whereas our greenhouse isn't really, you don't grow in it, you just start your seeds in it, which I'm so excited about. So we're looking at starting our carrots and onions and peas and peppers and tomatoes. So start those inside, except for the carrots. Those we're gonna just direct sow them suckers into the ground because I don't want to, they're basically a root, so if I start them and then transplant them, I feel like the shock would be too much for that. And the other thing I have that I'm not showing you is I got some seed potatoes. I think they're white. They're white potatoes out of our local feed store, one of our local feed stores. Got some of those. It was, I paid like $3 for 5 pounds of them. So I'm going to go probably back and get more because I love potatoes. And then also there's I got to figure out storage for a lot of this stuff. I'd love to do the market garden thing. We'll see, may move in that direction. I'd also like to just kind of have a diverse homestead, be a little more self-sufficient. So I'm not looking to make money off it because right now I'm doing a pretty good job with our current job, with my current work, my current career. I love it, but it just takes a lot of time. So we'll see how all that goes. But thanks for watching today, and if you have any questions or you want the comments or give me a little guidance on planting seeds and stuff, especially if you're from the area of northern half of Alabama. Give me some recommendations on things I really appreciate. But if not, I'll see you guys